We're excited that you could be here. Do you know why this school year, 2013-14, is so special at Northwestern? Because in 2014, Northwestern will celebrate its 130th year of preparing teachers. And in this building, I hope you'll take time to look at some of our artifacts. We have a museum that's in Pod C, and also in what we call our NCATE suite, we have the very first teaching certificate that was issued by Louisiana State Normal School. It was issued to Sally Phillips, and we also have the very first superintendent certificate somewhere. This was small, so I could bring for show and tell. The very first teaching superintendent certificate issued to, does anyone know? Dr. Webb, of course, knows. T.H. Harris. So this, along with many of the artifacts, are very interesting, so I hope you have time to just walk around the building and look at the way education was taught in the days of the normal. Northwestern was founded in 1884, and we have produced thousands of teacher educators. But there's fewer than 80 names that are listed on this wall. So this is a real unique honor to be given this distinction, and that's really why we're here today. I hope you had an opportunity to see some of our special students that were here earlier. Oh, there they are. Great. I couldn't find you when we first came in here. These are education majors who are on the homecoming court this year. We have Jacob Carter and Lyndon Hunt, who could not be with us, but we do have Lamario, let me put my glasses on so I can, Fortson. Lamario, stand up. Lamario is from, he fussed at me earlier because I called him the wrong name in another event, so I apologize. Lamario is from Houghton, and he is majoring in social studies education. It'll be a couple more years before he graduates, but his future goal is to teach and to also to eventually be an educational leader. And so, Lamario, we expect you to come back and complete our Ed Leadership program here. Thank you. And our queen, Eleni Guidry, who's from Lafayette. She's gorgeous. She is a health and exercise science major, and she's president of the Student Activities Board at Northwestern. And her goal, she's been so active in student affairs that even though when she came here, she said, well, I eventually want to major in physical therapy. But she likes student activities so much that now she's thinking about changing and pursuing a master's degree in higher education and student affairs. So we would love to have you back. We hope we can influence you. So we're so proud of them. Now it's my pleasure to introduce an alumnus of this college, and he was inducted into the Hall of Distinguished Educators in 2007, and he just happens to be the president of Northwestern, Dr. Randall J. Webb.
Thank you, Dr. Gentry, and thank all of you for being here today. There are at least a couple of special guest I'd like to introduce today. I'd like to introduce my wife Brenda, who's at the back. There's a reason why Brenda's always at the back at these functions. She knows she's got to get us to the next one across campus, so we'll be doing that in a few minutes. Another person who is really a dear friend of mine, former member of the Board of Regents, also a friend to some of the inductees today, and it just shows his commitment to education that he would come up from Ellick and be here, and that's Mr. Scott Brame. Scott, would you please stand? Scott is a former member of the Board of Regents. He's a consummate Southern gentleman. 2 of his grandchildren came to school at Northwestern, and of course they made nothing but A's. So they are, that's a great family down there. Everyone here today, from my perspective, is a dignitary, but I've got another friend I do want to introduce because he's such a dear friend, and that's Carl Carpenter, the outstanding principal of Pineville High School. When you can direct bands, including marching bands, and do it as effectively as he can, you can do about anything. And he has served that area so beautifully down there and is an outstanding alumnus as well. You know, anytime I'm involved in something relating to teacher education at Northwestern, I feel just the way Vicki did. I'm sorry that I blurted out that about T.H. Harris, but I am so proud of that distinction here. You know, that these great educators of all time in Louisiana, most all of them started out here. And that's what makes it always such a humbling experience for me to even be involved in something like this, because I'm around people who were in teacher education here and graduated here bearing the mark of Louisiana Normal. And that's a distinction no one else in this state can carry around. That means a great deal to all of us. And I will say this, that today's group, and I know them all, it's an outstanding group. And I'm glad to call them my friends and to have been associated with them through the years, and certainly I commend them to you. I was thinking coming over here when one of my dear friends, Randy Moffitt, who's being inducted, when he and I were young at heart, shall we say, we were young at heart and we were young physically. When we went to work at Southeastern to teach along with his wife Barbara and of course Brenda as well, and we were down there with a lady whom I guess you could say ran theater. I imagine Randy would say that. She's always been a friend of mine, and she even supported theater at Northwestern after I came up here. And she told me more than once, she said, you know, Randy, she said, every surgeon, every attorney, every accountant, every social worker, you get the gist, everybody in the professions should have been on stage. They should be in theater in college. And, you know, I've never forgotten that. When I talk to students, I tell them, don't want to force you this way, but keep in mind that one of the things that would help you in life is to be a part of the theater program. And then there's something else I tell them. I tell them the discipline it takes to be in theater, the engaging personality, at least a modicum of self-confidence, and also tempered with humility and a love for your audience. And I tell them that's also what it takes to make a great teacher. And so there are really a couple of routes you can take. You can go the thespian route, or you can go teacher education, and you'll get the best education you could ever ask for in life. I'm so grateful that I'm one of those marked by the normal. And some of you have heard me before that I've indicated that close to 50 members of my family went to school here. 3/4 of them were in education. So that tells you about our commitment as a family to this school and the deep, deep love that we have for it. And I don't know if this lady is going to speak after me or not, but I do want to introduce our provost, Dr. Lisa Abney, who's also vice president for academic and student. Lisa's the innovator who makes great things happen here and curriculum-wise, and so I appreciate her so very much. I wish I could stay here with you, because there will be stories. And of course, I'd like to add to some of those, but I can't. I wish you a great day. The homecoming court, I'll get to talk to them later on the field today. Got to be with them last night at the pep rally. And Eleni, golly, she's all everything. She's so wonderful. And we're so proud of you. Come back to graduate school. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Webb and Dr. Abney, for joining us today. And this is why our work is so enjoyable, because we have leadership at the top that is so supportive of the work of this college. Homecoming court members, I know you've got a busy day, so thank you so much for coming. And along with the other officials, then you can exit at this time. Thank you again. This day would not be possible if it was not for the work of the faculty who do so much. I mean, they teach all week, and fortunately their contract has this line at the bottom that says other duties as assigned. So they've been working hard this week to get ready for this event. So I'm going to ask, if you're a faculty member of this college, please stand and be recognized. And thank you for your work. What a great group. And we're fortunate in having 5 new faculty members this year, and I'd like to introduce them, call special attention to them, because we've got a lot expected of you this year. Marty Rhymes. Marty Rhymes is from East Texas and the Shreveport area. She completed her degree in curriculum studies from Georgia Southern University. Greg Bauk. Greg, please stand. Greg earned degrees from Northwestern, and he just, well, it's been a couple of years that you earned your doctorate from Stephen F. Austin University. And he's working in our Ed Leadership program. He's also credentialed in special ed, so he's one of those people that does many things. Eric Braun. Eric is a recent graduate from Old Dominion University, and he's teaching in the counseling education program, and we have an accreditation visit coming up real soon, so the faculty in that program are working especially hard at this time. And Crystal Vaughn, would you please stand? And Crystal is also working in the counseling program, and she earned a PhD from the University of New Orleans. Sharon Green, I don't believe Sharon is with us today, but she's a new faculty member teaching in the Student Affairs and Higher Administration. And Elena Bragg. Elena, there she is. And Elena is teaching in the Health Promotion Program. We stole her from the College of Nursing, and she's very excited to be here and doing great things in the Health Promotion Program. And since we're talking about our teachers, I wanted to introduce our Teacher of the Year for the college, and it's Miss Cindy Davis. Cindy, I'm going to ask you to come down to the front. At Northwestern, each year, each college has the opportunity to identify a Teacher of the Year. And the process is that we review the faculty evaluations at the end of the year, and we name a high performer for each department. We have 3 departments in this college, and Cindy was named the higher performer for the Department of Health and Human Performance. So from there, we put it out for vote for all the faculty in the college, and Cindy was selected. She was recognized at the Faculty Institute earlier this year, and I just wanted to introduce her here to the alumni because she's done so much to not only teach courses but to advise students. She's always there to just go the extra mile, and she's just very highly appreciated. So congratulations, Cindy. And Cindy's parents are lifelong educators, Dan and Nelwyn Poole. Would you stand? You know the Poole name. They've Nelwyn's not here today. Cindy says that she learned everything from her parents. Now I have the pleasure of introducing the chairperson for the advisory board for the College of Education, Mr. Jimmy Berry.
Before I begin my 40-minute speech, let me take just a second. Is Janet Broadway in here? There's Janet. Janet is secretary over in the pod over there, and she is the lady that does all the correspondence with all of you and with all the people that are applying for this award. Among 2 major surgeries this summer in 3 weeks and all the other things that she had, she's held true and really stayed in there and done a wonderful job. I want to thank you especially, Janet. Thanks also to Dr. Vicki Gentry and her very capable faculty for all of the things they've done here. It's just beautiful. It all looks great. So it takes a lot of work to do all that, and we appreciate it. Welcome to all of you. And those of you that attended Northwestern, welcome home. Glad to have you with us today. The purpose of the College of Education Advisory Council is to provide advice and support to ensure that the mission of the College of Education is accomplished. We have 6 broad areas that we usually work under, and some of those are providing assistance for NCATE and SACS for those accreditations, assisting with recruiting and retaining students, try to help with that as much as we can. But our most enjoyable task is for the work of seeking and presenting this award today to those of you that are distinguished educators. And as Vicki kind of alluded to just a bit there, after 129 years of teaching, providing outstanding teachers for Louisiana and for the whole nation, there's only 75 names on that wall out there. And you are one of those. It's a pretty good deal. Some of those names, one was mentioned here today, T.H. Harris. Others, Bill Dodd, Shelby Jackson. Those were people of high profile. Then we have those people like Mary Lee Posey, Camille Stroud, Thomas Hennigan, just old, good everyday, grinded out teachers in the classroom. Good people. Oh, get out of here. I was principal here at this Middle Lab school for 25 years, so yeah, I was I was here a good while. You got tired of seeing me. But anyway, that's pretty elite company when you look out there and think about it. It's very elite. We at Northwestern greatly appreciate all the effort that you've put out and the hard work and the outstanding work that you've done and the contributions that you've made throughout all of these years in your very distinguished career. You've impacted so many lives in such a positive way. And a lot of people can't say that. But you've done a great job with that, and we appreciate it. You've definitely made a difference in this world. And I know you serve as great ambassadors for this university, and that's what we're proud of. I know your families are very proud of you. You've got to be. And your family here at Northwestern is so proud to know that you're Northwestern graduates. Thank you.
Okay, we're almost there. Before we begin our ceremony, I would like to ask those who are former recipients for the Distinguished Educator Award, would you please stand and be recognized? Good group. Okay, well, what is the commercial? Let the footage roll. No? Are we ready? Okay, so we're beginning. Your attention.
Northwestern State University's Gallaspy College of Education and Human Development is proud to induct 5 alumni to its Hall of Distinguished Educators. Honorees must have graduated from Northwestern State's College of Education at least 30 years prior to nomination. This year's honorees are Carol H. Hebert, Sally Tanner Namey, the late Dr. John Basin Robson, Lieutenant Colonel Dr. James Rougeau, and John R. Williams. The college has also named 2 Friends of Education, Dr. Gene Burns and Dr. Michael Randy Moffett. Carol Hebert earned a degree in business education in 1971, a master's in business education in 1980, and a plus 30 in adult education in 1997 at Northwestern State. She was honored as Who's Who among students at Northwestern in 1971, was also elected to Phi Kappa Phi. She began her career teaching computer skills at the high school level in the fast-changing world of technology while sponsoring Future Business Leaders of America organizations in Natchitoches and St. Mary parishes from 1976 to 1997. She then moved to the Louisiana Community Technical College system and was coordinator of ACT Work Keys testing for Louisiana Work Ready project. She was also engaged in curriculum development and workforce development and worked with students to provide services and assistance in completing their educational goals. In 2010, Hebert was presented an Outstanding Professional State Award from the Louisiana Technical College system. Hebert is currently the Chief of Staff / Special Advisor to the Chancellor at Central Louisiana Technical Community College in Alexandria and coordinated the transition of the Technical College into a comprehensive community college. Prior to that, she was Campus Dean, Chief Academic Officer, and Technical Division Curriculum Coordinator at Northwest Louisiana Technical College in Natchitoches, having spent several years there in other administrative capacities related to student affairs and workforce development. Carol Hebert has a son, Jason Allen Hebert, who is married to Amanda, and they have 3 children, Gracie, Anne Marie, and Chandler.
Okay, well, we have the pleasure of meeting Carol Hebert.
Well, I just wanted to say I hate all those old pictures up there, but you know, you never think you look like what the pictures show. But I just want to say that I've had a really great career that is still going on, and I want to just say a special thanks to my family who've supported me all this time, and to my wonderful friends and coworkers, some of whom are here today. We've had a wonderful experience, and I appreciate all your support and all the things that I learned from you. So none of this would be possible without Northwestern, of course. So I really am so thrilled that I had the opportunity to attend school here, and that was the basis for the rest of my career. So, and of course I'm going to be encouraging my grandchildren to be here too. So I really appreciate this. It's a great honor, and I thank you for it.
Over here. Yeah, you just have to excuse us for. Did you want to take a picture? No? Okay. No, it's yours.
Sally Tanner Namey graduated with honors from Northwestern State with a double major in elementary education and library science in 1972. While attending Northwestern, she was recognized as a member of the Winter Ball Court, an event to honor young women dedicated to service, leadership, and scholastic standing. She was elected president of 3 groups, Alpha Lambda Delta, Alpha Beta Alpha, and Purple Jackets. She earned a master's degree in reading at Louisiana State University in 1979 and plus 30 in instructional supervision at Centenary College, Louisiana Tech, LSUS, and Northwestern State. She earned a Master of Library and Information Science degree from LSU and additional certifications at Louisiana Tech. Namey has spent her career with the Bossier Parish School System in classroom and administrative capacities and is currently Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum and Academic Affairs, where she has channeled her love of math to creating programs focused on exposing students to science, technology, engineering, and math. She supported STEM curricula for elementary through high school students and is a recognized leader in implementing programs that prepare students for college engineering classes. She's celebrating 20 years of marriage to Rick Namey and has one son, Josiah Tanner Namey.
Okay. We have Sally. Do you want to come forward? Okay, would you like to over here?
In 1937, Dr. Webb referenced lots of family that has come through. In 1937, my dad was valedictorian of the graduation class then. And many, many years later, in 76, I had the honor of being valedictorian of that class as well. He set a fine example for me, and as well as all my siblings that attended here. He passed away a year ago. 5 years ago, I nominated him for this honor. And there were 22 very worthy nominees that year. 5 were named, and he was not one of them. So somehow, a year later after his death, I feel like this award is for him. And ironically, tonight's game is against Southeastern. My mom passed away 2 years ago. She graduated from Southeastern. So in this event, I just know that Mom and Dad are there going, it's a great thing, we trained you well, and we're proud of you. So I accept this honor on their behalf as well as all of my siblings that were Northwestern graduates as well. I do want to recognize my husband, Rick Namey, right here, and my son, Josiah Tanner Namey, also referenced in the video. Can y'all stand? Because you don't do anything in life without a great support system at home. I know all of you know that, so I do thank you. Thank you.
John Basin Robson, who was born in 1899, earned a teacher's certificate from the Alabama Normal School in 1920, and Artium Baccalaureus in chemistry and biology from Louisiana State Normal School, now Northwestern State University, in 1928. He earned a master's in chemistry and biology at Louisiana State University in 1937, and a PhD in secondary education and psychology at Vanderbilt University's Peabody College in 1944. Robson began his career teaching at West Point, Mississippi, and was a teacher and principal at Natchitoches High School, Vowels Mill, Clutcheville, and Roebeline until becoming a supervisor in Natchitoches in 1934. He went on to serve as state supervisor and was named Dean of Education at Northwestern State in 1945. He served as head of the Department of Education and Psychology at Northwestern State and Louisiana College, and returned to NSU as Director of Instructional Programs and Materials for the North Louisiana Supplementary Education Center. Robson authored several books: Louisiana Natural Resources in 1944, Conservation Chats in 1953, and a guide for teaching conservation and resource use in 1962. He was known as the father of conservation education in Louisiana, and one of his textbooks was required for all Louisiana high school students. Upon retirement, he was honored with a book of 51 letters from Louisiana educators, including staff from the Department of Education, school superintendents, college administrators, and faculty members. Robson and wife Marguerite Killen Robson had 3 children and 7 grandchildren. Robson passed away in 1968.
Accepting the award for Dr. Robson is his son, also Dr. John Robson.
Dad hired so many people. I looked on the board in the hall, and so many of them he hired. Lisso Simmons is here today, and he hired Lisso, and they were dear, dear friends. So many others. His former pastor is here today, Dr. Perry F. Webb, Jr., who was also your pastor, John. And we're so grateful for the support of such friends as Highland and Sophie Packard and all of those who are part of his life, and I call a ministry of a special nature. When you're a conservationist, you talk about natural resources, and the greatest resource that there is the resource of our children. All of you are conservationists, and what a magnificent calling by God to be a part of such a practice. I can't think of a school that is dearer to that subject than this one. My sister Barbara was professor of business education at Mississippi State. My sister Carolyn was professor of art here at Northwestern. And I'm a professor for New Orleans Baptist Theological Seminary. But I'm more a Baptist preacher. So, and by the way, my congregation, I am the administrator in Angola, where we have for 18 years had a seminary. And my students are not at all as bad as yours. But it is a joy to receive this reward in my dad's name on behalf of our family, who are all gone before me. I'm the last. In our family, there were 29 school teachers, counting my mother's Killen side. My Uncle Carol Killen was head of the Department of Math here for 100 years. And there's so many of you who remember him. It's a joy to be a part of this place. I'm a red devil and a demon. And I can tell you this, it's a hallowed hall. This is my first time back to this place in 50 years because I had to preach every Sunday and I couldn't come. And Jimmy, that's why. He chided me for that. So it's good to be here. God bless you for what you're doing. Never forget that your gifts are not all there is. It's your message that counts. So major on your message and leave your reputation up to God.
Wait. Turn it around. Ready? Okay, well, we needed to.
I have leadership qualities.
Retired Lieutenant Colonel James Jim Rougeau earned a degree in health and physical education at Northwestern State in 1958, a master's and specialist degrees in administration and supervision at McNeese State University in 1973 and 1982, and a PhD in administration and supervision at the University of Southern Mississippi in 1989. He began his career as a teacher and coach in Sabine Parish before serving in the U.S. Army from 1958 to 1980. He returned to the public school system as teacher and coach in Calcasieu Parish and served as principal at schools in Sabine, West Feliciana, and DeSoto parishes until 2000. Rougeau said his most memorable experience as an educator was training soldiers at the Venezuelan Military Academy, where success or failure in real-life situations depended directly upon the quality and effectiveness of his instruction. Rougeau stated, quote, "I've never forgotten that moment when I reflected on the training I received in my undergraduate days at Northwestern. I was given the knowledge and confidence to succeed in the all-important endeavor of providing quality instruction," end quote. Dr. Rougeau has been married for 55 years to Jane Quillen Rougeau and has one son, Gregory James.
Dr. Rougeau.
unaccustomed as I am to extemporaneous speaking, I would like to make just a few comments. First off, I consider this to be a great honor, and I'm appreciative for that. I want to thank some of the people that are here today. I want to thank my wife, who was with me all the way through the service and through school teaching. She herself is a retired counselor. I'd like to thank Dr. James Kenneth Corley, retired general, who helped to shape my life in earlier years. And I'd like to thank Coach Earl Haynes, who was a big influence on me in my early coaching days. And I'd like to thank a man that we all knew here, Dr. Marks. Doc Marks would pin my bars on me as a second lieutenant. He taught me a lot of things. And one of the things he taught me was, whenever you start a project, finish it. And I've always tried to live by that. And I'd like to thank all the people that are here today at the College of Education, and Dr. Webb, Dr. Gentry, for the things that they have done, the things they continue to do for Northwestern State, because we all got a lot from Northwestern State, and we thank you.
John R. Williams earned a bachelor's degree in upper elementary education in 1959 and a master's in education administration in 1966 at Northwestern State. He taught in Grant and East Baton Rouge Parish schools from 1959 to 1966 before joining the staff at Louisiana State University as director of short courses and conferences. In 1977, he was the founding dean of the Division of Continuing Education, and from 1982 to 86, he was director of governmental relations for the Louisiana Bankers Association. He later served as executive director of the Louisiana Baptist Children's Home and as vice chancellor for advancement at LSU Medical Center in New Orleans. Williams stated, quote, "Several Northwestern professors, especially Dr. Lisso Simmons, greatly influenced my career. Dr. Simmons taught us to get to know our students, understand their backgrounds, where they come from, and be able to call them by name. This worked pretty well for classes of 30 to 40 students, but one semester at LSU I had to take the place of a professor who was ill. His class of 125 students was just too much for me to employ all the things that Dr. Simmons stressed. I almost had a breakdown trying to put those names and faces together." As chairman of the LSU Board of Supervisors, I had the privilege of welcoming former President Jimmy Carter on the occasion of the spring commencement. President Carter, who received an honorary doctorate that day, had flown in overnight from Norway, where he had negotiated the Oslo Peace Accord. Former Presidents Gerald Ford, Jimmy Carter, and George Bush on the dedication ceremony for the Cook Alumni Center. In 1998, Williams was presented a Distinguished Service Award by Louisiana College. Williams has been married to Sue Ellen Fogelman Williams since 1963. They have 2 grown children, Lisa Ann and Joel Grant, and 6 grandchildren.
I'm not sure what yearbook they got that picture from. I didn't know that guy. I don't recognize some of you out in the audience that I knew 50 years ago either. I'm deeply humbled by this honor, Dean. Northwestern meant a great deal to me. I was scheduled to go to West Point. 2 weeks before graduation, my principal, A.L. Pop Seward, Northwestern graduate of the 30s, football track star, said, "Have on some Sunday clothes tomorrow morning. We're going somewhere." Didn't say where. Got in the car. We came to Northwestern. Met with Dean Fulton, Dean Townsend, and they said, "The Army can get people from anywhere. We need men in the classroom." And that's how I gravitated to Northwestern. When I left here, I was not arrogant, but I had a pride that I had the tools that had been given to me by people like John Robinson, Lisso Simmons, Caesar Moody, Bill Byer, that I could handle any project that came along. Now, as you listen to this, you probably thought, that guy could never hold a job. Actually, Northwestern equipped me to handle any job. And I'm proud to be an alumnus of this institution. I am proud of the fact that through all of this, my wife, Sue Ellen, supported me in all of our moves. Some of you ladies have had to move several times will appreciate what she had to do. And I'm grateful for my children, Reverend Joel Williams and daughter Lisa Milan. Thank you for this award.
Okay, for the Hall of Distinction, we recognize individuals who have earned undergraduate degrees from Northwestern and, of course, gone on to accomplish great things. Occasionally, we identify individuals in the state who've been good to Northwestern and who have also done so much to be leaders in the field of education. So this year we have the privilege of honoring two friends of education, Dr. Gene Burns and Dr. Randy Moffitt.
Gene Burns is Associate Commissioner for Teacher and Leadership Initiatives for the Louisiana Board of Regents. She earned a bachelor's degree in special education with a double major in learning and developmental disabilities at the University of West Florida in 1975. She earned a master's degree, PhD in curriculum and instruction, majoring in reading and minoring in school psychology at Louisiana State University in 1979 and 1986, respectively. Burns was a teacher and served as a professor of education for many years before joining Governor Mike Foster's staff as a special projects director in 1999. She served under 3 governors as Associate Commissioner for Teacher Education Initiatives from 2000 to 2008. She's recognized as a national leader in education reform, spearheading the redesign of all teacher preparation programs in Louisiana to address more rigorous expectations and provide evidence that programs are preparing effective new teachers and leaders. She has directed or co-directed numerous grants, bringing in over $12 million to support state providers who are seeking to improve teacher preparation and educational leadership programs in the state. Quote, "My entire teaching career has been about helping children achieve at higher levels, and it's rewarding to be at a point in life where I can see the positive impact of the work that's occurred across our campuses the last 14 years. I was not born in Louisiana. However, I have lived here for 35 years, and Louisiana is my home. When I speak before national audiences, I'm proud to say that I'm from Louisiana, and I'm proud of our teacher preparation accomplishments." Dr. Burns is married to Al Burns, who is a professor in the College of Business at Louisiana State University. They are grandparents to twin grandsons.
Hey. My dear friend, Gene Burns.
This really is an honor to be here today. As I look out in the audience here, I see many people that I've worked with over the last 25 years who have been very much a part of the work that I've done within the state. I'm very, very fortunate because of the fact that I've been able to have a family and a career that I have loved. I have never been burnt out with my career or with my life as a wife or as a mother. And a lot of people can't say that that has happened to them. I need to recognize not need, but want to recognize my husband, Al Burns. We went steady together in high school. We got married, and we've been married for 46 years. And throughout that entire time period, we've supported each other as we've gone on for different degrees. We've supported each other as we've had different changes within our careers. And I would not be here today without him. He's been a great father, he's been a great grandfather, and he's been a great husband. And I think every woman in this room knows that if you're going to be successful at what you do, you need to have a very supportive partner. I also want to recognize a couple of other people. In fact, not just a couple, a lot of other people. What wasn't mentioned here was after I finished up on my PhD, my husband was at LSU, he was a professor. We always had the agreement we wanted to teach at universities together, and we couldn't do that at LSU because they wouldn't hire their own graduates. So we ended up leaving, we moved to Florida. I was at Stetson University, he was at the University of Central Florida. After 2 years, we realized we missed Louisiana. We miss the food, we miss the people, we miss the culture, we miss the football in Louisiana. We missed Louisiana, and we hadn't thought that we would leave and want to come back. And we made the decision to come back. I was very fortunate to get a position at Southeastern. Al returned to LSU. And when we came back, we made a vow that we were not going to complain about Louisiana. We were going to do what we could do to try to help make our state a better state. And that's what we've attempted to do since we've returned. I could not be standing here today without recognizing people in the state who have been very much a part of us being able to bring about some really massive changes in our state to prepare effective new teachers. I want to recognize Randy Moffett. Randy was my dean at Southeastern when I first went there. He recognized my need to be able to be innovative, supported that. And when I was asked to take leave from the university, he helped to make it possible so that I could still be a faculty member, tenured faculty member, and be on leave to the state to work with all our universities. And Randy, I want to publicly thank you for that, because I could not have done anything that I've done with universities across the state without your support, so thank you. But I also want to offer support or appreciation for all of our chancellors and presidents. Randy Webb has been wonderful over the years with the changes that have occurred, with Lisa Abney, with our chief academic officers, Vicki Gentry as College of Ed Dean, and all of the faculty that are in this room. As was mentioned, we've gone through a process of redesigning all our teacher and leader preparation programs in our state. We can now see the results of the work that we have done, and you notice I keep saying we. It's not me, it's we. And what is so terrific about what has happened is that all of our campuses have come together to share best practices so that we have teachers and leaders across our state going into school districts today who are effective new teachers. And that's something that all of our universities need to be very proud about. All of our faculty, our deans, our presidents, our chief academic officers, because we're really making a difference. So one of the reasons why today is so meaningful to me is because, as I said, we came back, we wanted to try to, I'm going to get emotional, help to make Louisiana a little bit better. And I feel that the recognition today has validated the fact that we've come back, we've been able to work with others, and we've been able to help to accomplish that. Thank you.
Jean that she can wear her green this morning, but for the football game, she has to have on purple.
I have purple and orange and white for tonight.
Yes. Okay, Dr. Moffett.
Randy Moffett earned a degree in social studies education with a minor in English at Louisiana Tech University in 1969, a master's in student personnel service with a minor in psychology at Northwestern State in 1971, and a doctorate in education administration with a minor in psychology at Louisiana State University in 1980. Moffett spent many years as a professor and administrator at Southeastern Louisiana University, where he served as head of the Department of Education from 1982 to 87, vice provost from 1994 to 95, vice president for planning, research, and development from 1995 to 96, and president from 2001 to 2008. He then served as president of the University of Louisiana System from 2008 to 2012. The UL system, of which Northwestern State is a member, at the time enrolled 80,000 students and offered more than 600 academic degree programs. As president, Moffett was the representative of the system in addressing the governor, the legislature, the Board of Regents, and other state officials. Moffett was inducted into Northwestern State's Hall of Distinction, the Long Purple Line, in 2011. Under Dr. Moffett's leadership, there were significant accomplishments in the University of Louisiana system, including a comprehensive economic and community impact study, mentoring programs established at all universities, an international online peer-reviewed journal, the Journal of Service Learning in Higher Education, an annual academic summit that celebrates art, service learning, and undergraduate research, improvements in operational efficiency, accountability, and performance of each university, searching and selecting 5 university presidents, and shepherding the movement of the University of New Orleans into the UL system. Dr. Moffitt and his wife Barbara have been married for over 40 years and have 3 grown children and 6 grandchildren.
Okay, Dr. Randy Moffitt.
Well, first of all, let me say that I'm not used to public speaking, as was mentioned earlier, and I'm certainly not used to public speaking when I'm nervous. And I'm nervous today because I indeed appreciate this recognition and this honor. But I'm also nervous because I'm among some outstanding people, the persons that have previously been recognized, but more importantly, the faculty here at Northwestern, the faculty across the University of Louisiana system who do a wonderful job, and Gene Burns talked about that a moment ago, do a wonderful job of advancing education in this state. Unlike some of the persons who were recognized earlier, my mother and father probably had at best an 8th grade education. You know, my father died when I was very young, but my mother taught me that the way that you would better yourself and better others was to get an education. And I think throughout my life that's driven me, and I've always been mindful of the fact that part of the job of an educator is to make things better for the people that they're engaged with and for the people that will follow. And I like to believe that we have done that in the state of Louisiana. Now, you heard also that I'm a Tech graduate, I'm a Northwestern graduate, and I'm an LSU graduate. Now, talking about colors, I did wear purple with white. Unfortunately, I'll probably wear green and gold tonight, having spent a long time there at Southeastern. But my heart will always be here for many reasons at Northwestern. Some of the names that were mentioned today, you cross people's paths in your life. And John Williams and I have known each other and worked together in many, many ways over the years. Lisso Simmons, who came to Southeastern as dean, having served as dean here, was very gracious to me when I assumed a new position there many years ago, introduced me to superintendents and others in the area. But I came to Northwestern in the summer of 1970 thinking that my primary task here was to take some graduate courses and drink lots of beer. But unfortunately, I was in a class with a gentleman by the name of Dudley Fulton, and you heard his name earlier today, and he offered me an assistantship in his office. And I have to think that that's probably one of the turning points in my life. I enjoyed my years here. Some of the faculty, like Ray McCoy, Gail Goodwin, are no longer with us. Hurst Hall, we had the opportunity, Barbara and I did, to visit with him today. This has been a remarkable place. Randy, Dr. Webb, mentioned earlier about our arrival at Southeastern. We went to Southeastern within a month of each other. We have become lifelong friends, Barbara and I, of Brenda and Randy, and they serve as godparents to our youngest child. So our ties at Northwestern, and Barbara has a bachelor's and master's from here, our ties run very deep, and we do strongly believe in the purple and white. Let me end by saying that I really want to thank Gene Burns for her kind comments. One of the smartest things I ever did was to hire Gene Burns. But the smartest thing that I ever did was to marry Barbara Spruill. And I want to thank Barbara for being there, supporting me, and doing all those things that you've heard earlier about spouses. It truly has been a great journey together. And again, the College of Education and Human Development, we're very proud of you, and I am very humbled to receive this award, and thank you very much.
Okay, it's been a wonderful day, and thank you all for coming. I hope you'll enjoy. We have some refreshments, and there's tailgating activities this afternoon, and of course the kickoff is at 6 o'clock tonight. I have tickets, passes, armbands, so don't get away without getting those for the game, okay? See you next year.